Greetings to all our viewers. Today, as usual, we are going through the cases and questions from our clients. Over the past month, we've covered the most interesting and popular questions related to the Startup Visa program. We will be discussing those with our most trusted, licensed immigration advisor, Oleg Schindler. Hi, Oleg. How are you doing today?
Hi, Anna. Cheers. Long time no see. I'm very happy to be with you today again.
This one, people ask quite frequently, to what extent do language requirements affect obtaining a startup visa? For example, how will the immigration officer's attitude towards their application if one applicant has high language score and another is just a minimum?
One of the basic requirements of startup visa application is having the knowledge of one of the official languages at a level equivalent to CLB5. CLB stands for Canadian Language Benchmark. So the idea here is that, frankly speaking, the officers, they do not judge those who are completely fluent or those who speak at the intermediate level. Their only goal is to verify that the client meets the minimal requirement. And this minimum requirement, it is introduced just to make sure that the foreign entrepreneur who is going to launch a startup is able to communicate at least at the basic level.
This summer, Sean Fraser, the Minister of Immigration, announced that work visas for applicants under Startup Visa program will now be open. What does this mean, and when will this law take effect?
We hope that by the end of this year, we will have those changes implemented, and they will be game changers. First and foremost, the difference between employer-specific work permit and open work permit is that under open work permit, foreign national is allowed to work in any capacity, in any occupation for any employer in any province of Canada. The idea is to help foreign entrepreneurs to support themselves while they are developing their startup. So in other words, if your startup is in IT industry and at the same time you're a software engineer, it will be completely okay if you will find so-called day job for some Canadian employer, and in other time you will develop your business. It will secure additional cash flow, and it will increase the likelihood of your startup to survive in Canada. Another aspect is that, as I said, the previous duration of work permit was 1 year. That means that if our PR application is processed longer than 1 year, that means that we were supposed to reapply for work permit every year. With the new changes, we will be able to get this work permit for the maximum duration of 3 years, which will also reduce the bureaucracy in the startup visa and will enable time for officers to speed up the PR applications. So we are really hoping that by the end of this year, it will be implemented, and hopefully in 2024, we will all enjoy this real improvement in the program.
If I come to Canada on a work visa, what type of visa will my spouse and my children have?
If the primary applicant applies for a work permit, and under the current regulation, I recall, like it is still like an employer-specific work permit, spouses of the main applicant are always eligible for an open work permit. So in the other words, you can always count on your spouses to have the right to work in addition to your work permit. As for the dependent children, all children who are accompanying you, they either get a study permit to attend a public school, or if they are preschool age, they will get a visitor record. This is a specific status document that allows foreigners to stay in Canada longer than 6 months. So usually the duration of those status documents will be the same as the document of the primary applicant. If a primary applicant has a specific expiry date in their work permit, the same expiry date will be applied in the documents of their family members, except for cases when their passports are expiring sooner. So it usually works the following way. The expiry date is the maximum duration allowed by the law, or the expiration of their travel document, whichever comes first.
Let's talk about healthcare. If I arrive in Canada before obtaining resident status, will I have access to free government healthcare Or will I need to purchase insurance? And what about my family?
Canada is well known for our universal healthcare. This universal healthcare is accessible not only for citizens and permanent residents, but also for temporary residents. So foreign nationals who obtain work permit in Canada, they are entitled to approach the provincial social insurance office. The idea here is that if you are employed and you have a valid work document, which is work permit, you are allowed to get a universal health care, same as all other Canadians. This also applies to family members of the primary applicant. So your spouse, your children, they all will be covered by the government health insurance. So the only exception is in some rare cases, I would recommend still having as a backup for the first few weeks a private insurance, just until you apply and get your insurance in hand. It's always better to be protected, but overall it doesn't take very long, so you are eligible for it from the very first moment when you get the status document and submit your application for the health card.
Absolutely great. Amazing. Oleg, that's it for today. Thank you very much for your valuable insights. I'm confident that it will help our audience in their aspirations to move to Canada.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking very interesting question, and I hope my answers will convince your customers to choose Canada.
I don't have a doubt. Thanks everyone who watched this video, and till next time.